Hi guys, I hope this video finds you very well and very happy. In last video, we talked about attributed standards. Today, we're going to talk about the first two performance standards. Standard number 2000, managing the internal auditing activity. Standard number 2100, nature of all, what does it mean performance standards? It describes the nature of internal audit services and provide quality criteria against which the performance of these services can be measured. So in these standards, we're going to learn how to conduct internal auditing. The other standards we're going to talk later in other videos. Standard number 2000, managing the internal audit activity. The Chief Audit Executive must effectively manage the internal audit activity to make sure that it adds value to the organization. So this is the benefit of internal auditing, to add value to the organization. The internal audit activity is effectively managed when it achieves the purpose and the responsibility included in the internal audit charter. It conforms with the standards. Its individual members conform with the code of ethics and the standards. It considers trends and emerging issues that could impact the organization. So the internal auditing should take in consideration all emerging issues and impacts of the organization. 2010, planning. The Chief Audit Executive must establish risk-based plans to determine the priorities of the internal audit activity consistent with the organization's goals. So before start the year, the Chief Audit Executive must establish the annual internal auditing plan based on risk. So first of all, they have to prepare the risk assessment, and based on this risk assessment, the Chief Audit Executive will prepare the annual plan. 2020, communication and approvals. The Chief Audit Executive must communicate the internal audit activities plans and resources requirements, including significant interim changes, to senior management and the Board of Directors for review and approval. The Chief Audit Executive must also communicate the impact of resources limitations. As we mentioned in last video, all technical works and all technical issues should be communicated to the Board of Directors and must be approved by the Board of Directors, especially the internal auditing plan, the risk methodology, and all other technical issues related to internal auditing. Even if you have any limitations in your work, you have notify the Board of Directors. Standard number 2030, resource management. The Chief Audit Executive must ensure that internal audit resources are appropriate, sufficient, and effectively deployed to achieve the approved plan. Substandard number 2040, policies and procedures. The Chief Audit Executive must establish policies and procedures to guide the internal audit activity, and this document must be approved by the Board of Directors. Substandard 2050, coordination. The Chief Audit Executive should share information and coordinate activities with other internal and external providers of assurance services and consulting services to ensure that proper coverage and minimize duplication of efforts. Substandard number 2060, reporting to senior management and Board of Directors. The Chief Audit Executive must report periodically to senior management and the Board of Directors the internal audit activities, purpose, authority, and responsibility. And as we mentioned in the last video, the purpose, authority, and responsibility must be stated in the internal audit charter. This charter should be approved by the Board of Directors. Standard number 2100, the nature of internal auditing work. The internal audit activity must evaluate and contribute to the improvement of governance, risk management, and control process using systematic and disciplined approach and risk-based approach. This statement in conformance with the definition of internal auditing and the main rule of internal auditing. The purpose of internal auditing is to improve the governance and risk management and control using the systematic approach. Internal audit credibility and value are enhanced when auditors are proactive and their evaluation offer new insights and consider future impacts. So you have to take in consideration all new insights and you have to consider the future impact on the performance. Standard number 2110, governance. The internal audit activity must assess and make appropriate recommendations to improve the organization's governance process for making strategic and operational decisions, overseeing risk management and control, promoting appropriate ethics and value within the organization, ensuring effective organizational performance management and accountability, communicating risk and control information to appropriate areas of organization, coordinating the activities of and communicating information among the board of directors, external and internal auditors, other assurance providers, and management. And again, the role of internal auditing in governance is to assess and evaluate, to assess the corporate governance and to evaluate the process of corporate governance. And if there is any gaps or any exceptions, you have to raise to the board of directors. Substandard 2120, risk management. The internal audit activity must evaluate the effectiveness and contribute to the improvement of risk management process. Again, the role of internal auditing is not to manage the risk, but the role of internal audit is to evaluate and assess the effectiveness of risk management. And if there is any gap, any weaknesses in the system, the internal audit activity must raise and report to the board of directors. Same for internal control system. The internal audit activity must assess the organization in maintaining effective controls by evaluating their effectiveness and efficiency and by promoting continuous improvement. Same for internal control system. The role of internal audit and the main purpose of internal audit is to assess and evaluate the internal control system, not to design or prepare the system of internal control, but just assess and evaluate the system. We have one question, true or false. The internal audit activity must assist the organization in maintaining effective controls by designing and preparing the internal control system. Is it true or false? Please try to answer this question in the comments area down in the video. And thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.